is HFK Presents 5 Minutes of History, and I'm your host, Terry Lynch. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Hey! We're celebrating the anniversary of the signing of the United States Constitution. 223 years ago today, September 17th, 39 men from 12 of the 13 states, Rhode Island didn't want to send anyone, they didn't think it was worth it, sat down in Philadelphia and signed the document that is known as the Constitution. It is the longest living document for any republic, and it's also the shortest constitution. Pretty impressive. But what it did was it created a new form of government, a government that we live by and we fight for. And who are the we? You, the people. That's right, the Constitution made it a law for you, the people, to govern the people. It was the people's government, something new that wasn't experienced in Europe at all. They all were run by monarchies and royalties. Yes. So I've been celebrating this whole Constitution for over a week now, and I'm not finished. I'd like to tell you a little bit about it first. Actually, it started about a week ago, September 11th, when I celebrated Patriots Day in Joliet, Illinois, with the Visitation and Aid Society. These ladies do a great job and threw an excellent luncheon, and invited me to come as Ben Franklin and talk about the Constitution and how important it is for us to speak out as people, because that's what James Madison wanted. He's known as the father of the Constitution, and he said this is to be a living document that will have no last word. He actually encouraged debate and opposition, because that's the only way things get done. To find a little bit of one person's idea and a little bit of someone else's idea and put them together, and between the two, you'll find a way that'll help the majority of the people. And that's the basis of our Constitution. So I thought it was appropriate to start out there on Patriots Day with those wonderful women who do a great deal of work helping the underprivileged in the Joliet area. Way to go, ladies. And after there, it was on to the colleges. My first stop, Kansas City, here I come. Yes, I visited Kansas City, and more specifically, MCC Penn Valley. Penn Valley is one of the 5 colleges that make up MCC, which is the Metropolitan Community College in Kansas City. Penn Valley, go Scouts! Did you hear that? It could be, it might be. It is! It's Horatio, the town crier. Oh, and he's got today's question. Thank you, Horatio. What a coincidence. It comes from Jay from MCC Penn Valley. Hey, Jay's a history major over there, and Jay has a question. He wants to know if there are any dictators in history who had physical deformities. Yes, Jay, there are. And you kind of knew that because we talked about a couple of them, didn't we? Like Hitler and Pol Pot, and I believe it was Shanghai Shek. Well, to keep it clean, let's say they were all half a man, if you know what I mean. But beyond that, Jay, there were others, specifically Stalin. Stalin had a limped, deformed left arm, which would be this arm, not this one. And he also had deformed toes. As a matter of fact, deformities were something that Shakespeare used to show the evil in someone. Best example, Richard III. Yeah. Hey, go Scouts. You know what? It's time. Time for trivia. And today's trivia also has something to do with Kansas City. Yeah, you know what? I was in Kansas City on Monday, and I had to leave before the football game, Monday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs. Woohoo! It was an exciting game. Saw all about it later on. But I wished I could have been there. And it made me think, at the end of every season, they lead up to the championship. And the championship happens to be called the Super Bowl. Who came up with that term? Well, it was none other than Lamar Hunt, owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, he came up with that because it was a very popular toy back in the 60s called the Super Ball. And because bowl games in college were very ordinary, and not ordinary, very extraordinary and popular, Hunt decided to call the championship between the National Conference and the American Conference in football the Super Bowl. And there's your point for trivia. Next stop, New York, New York. Not the town, but the state. And the first stop was Herkimer Community College, named after General Nicholas Herkimer, the Revolutionary War hero who led over 800 men in a battle that went on for 2 days. The battle got so rough and tumble that it was hand-to-hand combat by the end. The important thing about this battle was that it proved to the Redcoats that they weren't going to be pushing us right over. This was a long haul that was coming up. In the battle, unfortunately, Herkimer's horse was shot out from underneath him, and he was shot in the leg. The leg had to be amputated, and he was pulled to safety. They amputated his leg, but they couldn't stop the bleeding. 10 days after his leg was amputated, he knew death was right around the corner. So he called for his Bible and his pipe. He smoked his pipe and read from the Bible until his time had come. And that's why Herkimer is called what it is. And Herkimer Community College is known as the Generals. Go Generals! And my last stop, Corning Community College in Corning, New York. Go Red Barons! Pretty cool school. Had a great time there. Do you know that Corning Community College has a planetarium and an observatory? Yes, it does. Believe me. And you know what else? I had a person there called Matthew who asked me, why the Red Barons? That's because it's named for Baron von Steuben, a Revolutionary War hero. Matthew, it's so interesting, his story, that I'm going to dedicate a whole episode of HFK Presents 5 Minutes to von Steuben himself. But as for you being called Red Barons, it's because that's your school color. Red, Baron, get it? Red Barons. Your other question was, I want to get a copy of Mistakes Happen, a historical guide to overcoming adversity. It'll be available online within the week. See, I had a little adversity myself. Red tape and getting the paperwork done so you can process these orders online. But don't worry, I know how to overcome adversity. Heck, I wrote the book on it. Ha! Listen, we are just about out of time, and I want to remind you, colleges out there, I'm still available. And not only the colleges, but the high schools and elementary schools as well. I'll go anywhere. And if you want to find out more about me, check out my website, hfkpresents.com. And if you want to send me a question about history, send it to info, I-N-F-O, at hfkpresents.com. And if you want to see more webisodes like this, all you have to do is go onto my website. It links into the YouTube channel. Or go to the YouTube channel yourself. But I've been talking too much, and I've got to get going, because we are just about out of time. And before I say goodbye, I want to tell you, next week, Elgin, Berkshire, look out. I'm coming to talk to you. Hey, this has been HFK Presents 5 Minutes of History, and I'm your host, Terry Lynch, saying, watch out. History happens when you least expect it.